Hi everyone. The purpose of this study was to determine the effects of light-dark cycle phase on learning and behavior in rats. The study employed a within-subjects design. There were 16 male rats at the start of the study at approximately 8 weeks old. Rats in Group 1 were tested between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., and rats in Group 2 were tested between the hours of 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. at the start of the study. About halfway through the study, these were switched. So rats in Group 1 were now tested between 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and rats in Group 2 were tested between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Procedures included the open field test, the elevated plus maze, and these were both used to measure anxiety-like behavior, a rotor-rod task, which was used to measure motor coordination, and a delay discounting task, which was used to measure impulsivity. Results showed that the elevated plus maze and open field test had conflicting results. So the open field test showed no significant differences between light and dark phase. However, the elevated plus maze showed many significant differences. So the rats spent significantly more time in the open arms during the dark phase compared to the light phase, and significantly more time in the closed arms during the light phase compared to the dark phase. These are indicative of significantly higher anxiety-like behaviors during that light phase compared to the dark phase. For the delay discounting task, rats were first exposed to 6 forced choice trials in which they experienced a randomized number of either the larger later reward or the smaller sooner reward. These options were not presented at the same time for these first 6 forced choice trials. For the next 14 trials, they were given the option to choose between the larger later reward and the smaller sooner reward. The smaller sooner reward consisted of 1 pellet at a 0-second delay, and the larger later reward consisted of 3 pellets at either a 0-second delay, a 15-second delay, or a 30-second delay. Results showed no significant differences at the 15-second or 30-second delay between the light and dark cycles. However, there was a significant difference at the 0-second delay between light and dark cycles, which we were not expecting to find. This showed that rats chose the smaller sooner reward, which consisted of 1 pellet, significantly more often in the dark phase compared to the light phase. At the 0 second, so they chose 1 pellet over 3 pellets at the exact same delay of 0 seconds, which again, we were not expecting to find this significant difference. This points to differences in reward discrimination between the light and dark cycles. However, again, this wasn't a finding that we predicted to have, so this would require further testing to be able to truly explore why this finding existed. Further, there were no significant differences found in the rotor-rod task, indicating that motor coordination was not affected by light-dark cycle phase. These results show that there were significantly higher anxiety-like behavior during the light cycle and the daylight hours compared to the dark cycle. However, impulsivity seemed to not be affected by light-dark cycle phase, as well as motor coordination. So in studies that are often employing procedures that test anxiety-like behavior, it might be better to run those studies during the dark phase as compared to the light phase in order to get the most accurate testing possible. However, other procedures such as delay discounting tasks and motor coordination tasks may not be affected by light-dark cycle phase. One possible way to go about this would be to reverse the light-dark cycle so that lights go off in the morning instead of coming on, and they go on at night so that the rats are kind of on the same sleeping schedule as the human researchers are. But further research is required to determine whether this is like an ideal solution to the problem.